Welcome to 10 Most Haunted Places in Brazil, where dark legends and eerie encounters await. From cursed buildings to ghostly apparitions roaming ancient streets, Brazil holds some of the most terrifying haunted locations in the world. Dare to uncover the chilling stories that have left locals and visitors trembling? Stay tuned, but beware. You may never look at these places the same way again. 1. Joelma Building, São Paulo. In the heart of São Paulo stands the infamous Joelma Building, a towering structure with a tragic past that refuses to be forgotten. On the morning of February 1st, 1974, a fire broke out on the 12th floor, quickly engulfing the entire building. Nearly 200 people lost their lives, many trapped inside, screaming for help as the inferno consumed them. The horror of that day left an indelible mark on the building, one that lingers to this day. Security guards and office workers report chilling encounters after dark. Disembodied cries echo through the hallways, and shadowy figures flicker in the reflections of glass windows. The most terrifying tale is that of the elevator of death. When the fire broke out, a group of people sought refuge in an elevator, but it became a death trap, sealing their fate in a suffocating blaze. Now, the elevator is said to move on its own, stopping at random floors with no one inside, except for the faint sound of whispers from the past. Some say the spirits of the victims remain trapped, forever reliving the agony of that fateful day. Would you dare to step inside after midnight? 2. Petropolis, Imperial Museum, Rio de Janeiro. The Petropolis Imperial Museum was once the summer palace of Emperor Dom Pedro II, a place of grandeur and aristocratic elegance. But beneath its opulent chandeliers and gilded halls lies a haunting presence that has unsettled visitors and staff for decades. As night falls, strange occurrences plague the museum. Security guards report hearing the sound of footsteps echoing through the corridors, yet no one is there. The ghostly figure of a woman dressed in 19th century attire has been spotted wandering the hallways, disappearing the moment she is approached. Some believe she is the spirit of Princess Isabel, forever watching over the palace that was once her home. Objects seem to move on their own, and the glass display cases fog up as if unseen hands have touched them. But the most chilling encounters happen in the emperor's former bedroom. Many have claimed to feel an overwhelming sense of sadness upon entering, as if stepping into the lingering grief of the fallen monarchy. Whispers drift through the air, carrying forgotten words from the past. Some say if you listen closely, you can hear the emperor himself, mourning the empire he lost and the home he can never leave. Would you dare to walk these halls alone at night? 3. Fazenda Ipanema, São Paulo. Deep in the heart of São Paulo, the Fazenda Ipanema stands as a silent witness to centuries of suffering and mystery. Once a thriving ironworks during the colonial period, this abandoned estate now holds an unsettling reputation, one filled with whispers of restless spirits and tragic pasts. Visitors who explore its decaying ruins often report hearing the distant clang of metal, as if ghostly blacksmiths are still hammering iron in a long-forgotten workshop. Shadows move without explanation, and chilling cold spots appear even on the hottest days. Some have even claimed to hear desperate screams echoing through the night, said to be the cries of enslaved workers who perished under brutal conditions centuries ago. One of the most terrifying legends surrounding Fazenda Ipanema tells of a faceless apparition that roams the property after dark. Those unfortunate enough to encounter it describe an overwhelming sense of dread, their bodies frozen in place as the entity lingers near. Many believe this is the tortured spirit of a man who died seeking revenge, forever doomed to wander the ruins. Would you dare to step into the shadows of Fazenda Ipanema, where the past refuses to rest? 4. Ilha das Cobras, Snake Island, São Paulo. Off the coast of São Paulo lies Ilha das Cobras, a forbidden island shrouded in both natural and supernatural terror. Officially known as Snake Island, it is infamous for being home to thousands of venomous golden lancehead vipers, one of the deadliest snakes on Earth. But while the island's reptilian residents make it a place of nightmares, locals whisper of an even darker presence lurking among the ruins of an old lighthouse. Legends tell of a lighthouse keeper and his family who once lived on the island, tasked with maintaining the beacon that guided ships safely past the treacherous shores. One stormy night, he and his loved ones were mysteriously found dead, their bodies twisted in agony. Some believe they were victims of the snakes, while others insist they were cursed, punished by vengeful spirits who claimed the island long before humans arrived. Fishermen sailing too close to Ilha das Cobras often report hearing ghostly voices carried by the wind, whispers in an unknown language warning them to stay away. Some claim to have seen eerie, flickering lights among the trees, as if unseen eyes are watching their every move. With the Brazilian Navy strictly prohibiting visitors, few have dared to uncover the island's secrets. But those who do return speak of nightmares, visions of shadowy figures slithering through their dreams, waiting for the next soul to set foot on cursed ground. Would you be brave enough to step onto Snake Island, where both the living and the dead are watching? 5. Hospital Colônia de Barbacena, Minas Gerais. There are haunted places, and then there are places stained by the horrors of history. Hospital Colônia de Barbacena, located in Minas Gerais, is one such place, a former psychiatric hospital that became a house of nightmares. Established in 1903, it was meant to house a few hundred patients. But as years passed, it transformed into a dumping ground for the unwanted, political prisoners, poor citizens, and even those who simply didn't fit into society's norms. At its peak, over 60,000 people perished inside its cold, crumbling walls. Witnesses have described the eerie silence that hangs over the abandoned hospital, broken only by unexplained whispers and distant cries. Some say the spirits of the thousands who suffered here have never left. Visitors report seeing shadowy figures in the corridors, hearing metal doors slam shut on their own, and feeling an overwhelming sense of sorrow, as if unseen hands are reaching out, desperate to tell their untold stories. The most chilling legend speaks of the man in the window, a ghostly figure often seen peering from the hospital's shattered windows, his hollow eyes filled with anguish. Some claim he was a patient who tried to escape, only to be caught and dragged back inside, never to be seen alive again. Even today, the abandoned ruins of Hospital Colônia de Barbacena stand as a grim reminder of its tragic past. But those who step inside its decayed halls quickly realize this place is far from empty. The past lingers, whispering, waiting, and watching. 6. Castelinho da Rua Apa, São Paulo. In the heart of São Paulo, standing eerily untouched by time, lies Castelinho da Rua Apa, a Gothic-style mansion with a dark and tragic past. Built in the early 20th century, this once elegant home became the site of one of Brazil's most chilling murder mysteries, one that still haunts the building to this day. In 1937, a gruesome family massacre took place within these walls. The mansion's owner, Álvaro Reis, was found dead alongside his mother and brother. The scene was soaked in blood, but the mystery remains. Who killed whom? Some say it was a violent dispute over an inheritance. Others claim it was something far more sinister. Ever since that fateful night, strange occurrences have plagued the house. Neighbors and visitors report flickering lights, ghostly shadows moving past the windows, and chilling cries echoing through the empty halls. Some claim to have seen a woman in a black dress, wandering the corridors, believed to be the tormented spirit of Dona Maria Reis, the mother who met her tragic end within these walls. Paranormal investigators have explored Castelinho, and many reported an overwhelming feeling of dread, as if unseen eyes were watching their every move. Some even claim that the spirits here don't just haunt, they communicate, whispering unintelligible words in the dead of night. Now abandoned, Castellinho da Rua Apa remains frozen in time, a house filled with sorrow, secrets, and spirits that refuse to rest. Those who dare to step inside quickly realize the past is very much alive. 7. Pelourinho, Salvador. The vibrant streets of Pelourinho in Salvador, Bahia, are known for their colonial architecture, rich history, and pulsating nightlife. But beneath its colorful facade lies a dark and chilling past, one that lingers in the shadows of its cobbled streets. Once the heart of the Portuguese slave trade, Pelourinho was a place of unspeakable suffering. Enslaved Africans were publicly punished, tortured, and even executed in its main square. The weight of this brutal history still hangs heavy in the air, and many believe that the tormented souls of the past never truly left. At night, the narrow alleys take on a sinister atmosphere. Locals and visitors alike have reported disembodied whispers, chilling cries, and the unmistakable feeling of being watched. Some have even seen shadowy figures dressed in chains, wandering the streets as if trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. One of the most terrifying encounters is said to occur inside abandoned colonial buildings, where people have claimed to see ghostly apparitions with sorrowful eyes, dressed in rags, standing silently in the doorways before vanishing into thin air. Even tour guides, who walk these streets daily, refuse to linger after dark. They tell stories of candles lighting themselves, doors slamming shut on their own, and an overwhelming sense of grief and oppression that takes hold of anyone who dares to listen too closely. Pelourinho may be a UNESCO heritage site, but its ghostly residents ensure that its dark past is never forgotten. Would you dare to walk these haunted streets alone at night? 8. Viaduto do Chá, São Paulo. By day, Viaduto do Chá, in São Paulo, is a bustling landmark filled with pedestrians, street vendors, and the constant hum of city life. But as night falls, this historic bridge transforms into something far more sinister, a place where the tormented souls of the past still linger. Since its construction in the late 19th century, Viaduto do Chá has been the site of countless suicides. Over the decades, despair-driven individuals have leaped to their deaths onto the streets below, leaving behind tragic echoes that refuse to be silenced. Pedestrians crossing the bridge at night have reported chilling encounters, whispers carried by the wind, the eerie sensation of unseen hands brushing against them, and, most disturbingly, shadowy figures standing at the railings, staring into the abyss before vanishing into thin air. One of the most terrifying legends speaks of a woman in a tattered white dress. She is often seen walking aimlessly along the bridge, her head bowed. Some have approached her, only for her to lift her gaze, revealing empty, blackened eyes. The moment eye contact is made, she vanishes, leaving an overwhelming sense of dread in her wake. Taxi drivers passing under the bridge at late hours have also claimed to see ghostly figures plummeting from above, only to disappear before hitting the ground. The sight is so realistic that some have slammed on their brakes, convinced they've just witnessed a tragedy, only to find nothing there. With its tragic history and chilling encounters, Viaduto do Chá remains one of Sao Paulo's most haunted locations. Would you dare to cross it alone at midnight? 9. Rua do Fogo, Rio de Janeiro. Deep within the shadows of Rio de Janeiro, there lies a street whose name alone sends chills down the spine. Rua do Fogo, or Street of Fire. While it may seem like just another road to unsuspecting passers-by, locals know it as a place of darkness, suffering, and unexplainable horrors. According to legend, Rua do Fogo earned its name from a devastating fire that consumed an entire row of houses centuries ago. The flames engulfed families alive, their screams piercing the night as the fire raged out of control. Many believe that the souls of those trapped inside never truly left. Residents whisper about figures appearing in the charred ruins, their blackened silhouettes illuminated by ghostly flickers of flame, yet no fire can be seen. Others report hearing agonizing cries, as if the victims are still reliving their final moments. The most chilling tale, however, is of a man wreathed in fire, seen wandering the street before vanishing into thin air. Drivers passing through at night often find their headlights flickering or their engines stalling inexplicably. Some have even claimed that their cars suddenly fill with the acrid stench of burning flesh, only for it to disappear moments later. The truly brave have attempted to record these ghostly apparitions, but cameras malfunction, batteries drain, and eerie distortions appear in the footage. Paranormal investigators believe Rua do Fogo to be a place where time bends and the past bleeds into the present, forcing all who dare enter to witness its horrors. Would you take a walk down this haunted street, knowing the spirits of the damned might be walking beside you? 10. São Luis Historic Center, Maranhão. The São Luis Historic Center in Maranhão is a stunning colonial-era district filled with colorful Portuguese architecture, narrow cobblestone streets, and a vibrant history. But beneath its beauty lies a dark past, one that has left behind lingering spirits, eerie whispers, and ghostly apparitions that roam the night. Once a hub of the slave trade, Sao Luis was built on the suffering of thousands. Enslaved people were tortured and forced to construct the grand mansions and churches that still stand today. Many never made it out alive, their spirits trapped within the walls of the city. Locals speak of shadowy figures moving behind the windows of abandoned buildings, whispering voices that echo through empty alleys, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. One of the most haunted spots is the Palácio dos Leões, the governor's palace, where people claim to hear phantom footsteps and see ghostly faces staring out from the upper floors, even when the building is empty. Another terrifying legend tells of the Ladeira do Jacaré, a street where a headless man is said to appear, chasing anyone who dares to walk alone at night. Visitors often report sudden cold spots, a suffocating heaviness in the air, and an overwhelming sense of dread. Tourists who unknowingly take photos sometimes find shadowy figures or glowing eyes lurking in the background. Historians believe that the hauntings are the echoes of the past, spirits of those who suffered injustices and refused to be forgotten. Whether it's the footsteps of long-dead aristocrats or the tormented souls of those who perished in slavery, Sao Luis Historic Center remains one of Brazil's most haunted locations, where the past refuses to rest. Would you dare walk its eerie streets after sunset, knowing that the spirits of the forgotten are still watching? These haunted locations hold more than just history. They carry whispers of the past, restless spirits, and unexplained horrors. Would you dare visit any of these places? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this terrifying journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more spine-chilling stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and watch your back.